you pull on that jersey, you represent yourself and your teammates. And a name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back. Get that through your head.
And here we go.
And it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop that man.
Well. Nobody ever tells me anything. That NETMA is back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to NETMA. It has been over a season, over half a year. And we are back. We are back. We are ready. As we'll ever be here for about this time. But NETMA makes its return. The teaser worked out wonderfully. You guys have been awesome in the interim, staying with just keeping up with the SFL, and all of a sudden, as soon as I made the announcement, keeping up with the return of NETMA. And you guys have been awesome ever since I made the announcement. So welcome back to NETMA, or Nobody Ever Tells Me Anything, with your host, Tyler Falk. It is so good to see so many of you already in here. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the week, and like the title card says, welcome back to craziness. There's an old quote by a famous sportscaster which goes, "The return to glory." Except this isn't no return to glory. This is a return to craziness, to lunacy, to absurdity. You all come here not to listen to me and my opinions. You love to listen to me make 2-10 predictions. That's all you guys love about me. Ain't that right? Alex Marshall, Ethan Muslin, Josh Farnsworth, Achilles Papatonis, and Guy Clausen in chat currently at the moment. Really do appreciate all of you, especially even if you're not listening live or listening on playback. But we're back. NETMA is back. And things look a little bit different. And they're going to be a little bit different. The show will not be what they were previously. Now, let's start by diving deep into all of this, right? So to begin with, when the first time this show ever released, the first tenure, the first take, if you will, of the show lasted just under a season, and same kind of thing with the second take. Anywho, regardless, they were about hour-long shows for the first time around, where I talked for an entire hour nonstop. I had a co-host for a little bit, but it just got really tiresome. And for a listener listening to Dave Axis, Ashley Jackson, The Streets Are Talking, we all know they're great shows. They're great people. This isn't a knock on them, but long shows can get kind of tiring for listeners. And in the age of the internet, a lot of people can't really sit for an hour long at a time anymore. And so when I brought back the show a second time, I said, you know what? I still want to do an hour length in terms of shows, but I want to do them broken up. I want to do daily content, something that had never been seen before in the SFL up until that point. And so I'm like, all right, I'll do daily content. 15, 20-minute shows, 4 to 5 days a week. Now, it was great for catching a quick show, quick opinions on your favorite flat cap, favorite 2-10 memes, but got really tiring as a content creator. I'm not built, and I don't have the infrastructure to make content every single day. So why is NETMA back now, and how does NETMA plan to be different this time around? Well, here's what's going to happen. NETMA is going to be very, very organized. As you can see, there's a clock right there. That clock is going to keep us on track. This full-length episode will be around an entire hour every single week. But here's the catch. You see these little breaks that are coming up in there? Well, that means we're going to take a minute break for the host to reset, for maybe you guys to reset. And then at the end of this show, I am going to go into the show again. I'm also recording this show. And I'm going to break up the show into 4 15-minute chunks for those of you that want to watch the show just at 15 minutes a time. You've only got a 15-minute car ride from work to home, and you can't listen to a live show for about an hour long. It just doesn't make sense. I've got you covered. You can podcast this show as much as you'd like for 15 minutes at a time. Or if you don't want to watch the live show, you don't care what I say live, but you just want to hear one bit. For instance, this opening monologue is going to be one bit. The second bit will be a further breakdown of the monologue, a certain topic, or even an interview for that entire 15 length period. Third part is a rebranding of sorts. You kind of see it right there. It's called the People's Presser. Now that's what used to be called show questions in the NETMA Discord. It still is called show questions, but that is where the questions will come up. That's where I'll answer all the big questions. The smaller questions, the fun questions, that comes later. We'll talk about more of that in a second, because that all ties in to the last quarter of the show, where we've got a couple of different things going on. We've got power rankings in there, but instead in the past, where power rankings were so long and took so much time out of the show, I've really, really shrunk it down into a big bite-sized piece. And the whole last section, we can talk about power rankings, we can answer some other questions, we can talk a whole bunch about other stuff. So the big thing is here, this show is going to look different. It's going to be, I'm calling it a hybrid of the two types of program that came before. And hopefully that attracts more people to watching the show. That gives you guys a more incentive to watch however you want to watch. You guys get to pick and choose what you want to do. And it all depends on your participation. I popped into the show questions channel. I don't know if just a lot of people didn't have too many show questions or something, or any real big questions for me. But it's like mothballs in there. There's absolutely no show questions in there. If you want to put in a show question and you're not already in there, head on over to the description here in this live video. There's a link to the NETMA Discord server, which you can pop in and start typing away your questions. That way, I can answer them as part of the People's Presser. Or I'll just start asking questions live on air, and we'll take a few questions here and there. But for all intents and purposes, this show, as I've said from the beginning, has always been about you. The viewer, the listener, day in, day out. I don't do this show. I didn't bring back this show for me, for potential YouTube fame, for some award that may or may not be handed out this season. But I do this show for you guys. I do everything I possibly can to make this show as informative, as right, wrong, or indifferent, my opinionated self. I also try and make the show a little fun. So, also, to go along with this, I need your help. It took me a while to come up with all these graphics, and I'm still not done. There's still so much I want to do. Like, I want to add effects to the things you're seeing on that side. There we go. That side. I want, it's like I haven't done this in a while or something, but I want to add effects to this, to some of the transitions. You might see something blinking up there at the top left corner of your screen where it has the clock, which will tell us when a certain section is going to be done or not. But I also plan on putting together little nuggets of stuff. So if you ever envisioned yourself as like a voice actor, or you already are a voice actor if you're Bo Martin Jr. over here, but if you would like to help make NETMA even more special and you want to be part of NETMA, even if you don't want to be a part of NETMA for a long time commitment, there's a way you can help. There's a way you can be part of the show. So let me know what you want to do. I'll be putting stuff in the NETMA server Discord, in the NETMA Discord server. Words are hard, even for a broadcaster. But I will get to everything as quickly as possible, because I want to make this show even better than it already has been, and I want to continue pushing myself, and I want to continue pushing SFL content in a positive direction. So many more folks jumping in, folks I haven't talked to in a year or even more. You got Charlie Beletsky in there, Albert Begin, Will Todd's here, Neil Rivers. So many more folks jumping in. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here and being with me and through all of the craziness that has been. Bridge City Bird jumping in. Right now, this show, even this first show, there's gonna be some hiccups. There's gonna be points where I mess up because I'm learning the new system. I literally put all this stuff here in the last month, and half of it doesn't work, or doesn't work the way I'd like it to. But we will get all of this done. So, coming up in the next 3/4 of an hour, we're going to be talking about, in the next segment, playing catch up. That means I'll be talking about what I missed during the period between my second retirement and now. We got to talk about a couple championship games. We're going to talk about some SFLM championship games. We get to talk about an off season, an era change. We get to discuss, and I get to get off my chest a lot of things I didn't say on Access Live during the time I was on Access Live. We get to discuss a lot more things and more coming up in the next 45-ish minutes. So stay tuned, stay close, and I'll see you after the first break.